Hello and welcome back to the channel, and this video today is usually the one that gets requested the most, and it's for me to go through every single position and list out at least 3 players, pretty much my top 3, with cards that range from like 10,000 to millions of coins. So when you get the game for Christmas, or if you've already got the game, you know which ones I'm loving right now on FIFA 22. So thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, let me know in the comment section as well. List out your top 3, doesn't have to be in every single position, top 3 players that you love right now in the game, and let's go. So jumping into that goalkeeper position, coming in at 3rd is Szczęsny, informed keeper from the Serie A. When I face him, he's putting in at least 9 out of 10 performances, and when I've used him myself, he's really reliable, much better than Handanovic. He's the best goalkeeper in the Serie A to go for, and he's one of the better keepers that I've tried on the game. 6'5" as well, great height, good reflex saves. He's very good. So in 2nd place, we do have Courtois. Now, I don't tend to use him an awful lot, but when I do, he's fantastic. And the only reason why I don't play him in my starting 11 is for chemistry. Centreback, Eder Militao, and that's pretty much it. Obviously, as you know, Varane's moved over to the Premier League, so I don't feel like he gets used as much, but he's still fantastic, and he's much better than ter Stegen from what I've seen and from what I've experienced. So this might come to a shock to some of you, but Hugo Lloris is my number 1 on FIFA 22, and there's no one really quite like him that offers this consistency in the key moments of a game. Now, I'm not expecting a goalkeeper to be saving shot after shot, but when you really depend on them to make that difference and win you the game, this is your man. Inside the box, even outside the box, because they nerfed like long shots in general, I don't feel like that's much of an issue with Lloris. But when your opponents are inside and they try and quickly snap a shot against this man, big hands, left, right, up, down, he's got it. My favorite. So shifting across into that right back role, and one of my favorite fullbacks on the game is Corrado. And with that different dynamic of having 5-star skills, it just makes it so easy to run towards the touchline, hit that elastico, and jet down the line. But don't mistake that skiller approach for weakness, because he's very good defensively. For some reason, he just works. So he comes in at number 3. In at number 2, we have Jonathan Klaus, and this man has been tried and tested in division rivals, in Fut Champs, and he even got me rank 1. And defensively, he has awareness. Even though it's super low, well, that goes for every single player in the top 3 in this right back role. But just what he offers physicality-wise, just feels strong when he's near someone. On the ball, depending on the gameplay, he feels pretty smooth and sharp just to cut it back to the left-hand side and play passes in fields. I like his work rates. I just like him. He's a solid option in at number 2. So I think we'd be a little bit silly if we didn't have this man in at the number 1 position. Defensively, though, there isn't much of a difference between himself and Klaus. But not only is Hakimi good in his own right with his speed, dribble, and even shooting, but he's so easy to get into a starting 11, linking off to Marquinhos, bang, job done, or whoever. You know, he's PSG. It's the most popular club right now on FIFA 22. So Hakimi, he's number 1. So taking a look at those centre-backs, and I do have an honourable mention, though, for Carlos Alberto. The baby version of him, the icon, obviously in that centre-back position, and with that approach, speed, aggression, and a bit of defending, if your opponent's trying to lob those through balls over the top, he's going to be able to have you covered, especially with Corrado as well. He's a nice option for you boys to go for. But Marquinhos, I feel like, edges it for the price and how he plays. He's just very, very good, and he makes it all look a little bit too easy. Links as well, Brazilian, nicely done. So it took me a while to appreciate how good Rafael Varane was, because I was so used to this high agility type defender. But when I went over to Varane, yes, he doesn't feel as agile or as smooth, but you soon adjust to it, and the presence with him being quite wide in game, 6'3", he rarely makes a mistake for me, and he is one of my favorite defenders on this game. And for the price, you can't go wrong. If you've been following the RTG, you know that Rudiger is my number 1. You can't beat this speed, especially with the height as well, and he is pretty agile to jockey with. Not much is getting past this man, and he's in some fine form in real life, and it shows in game. He defends incredibly well. The aggression is fine. Like, he is unbelievable. You think people are going to get in behind against him? I don't think so. Or maybe if I'm defending a little bit poorly. But I just feel like he has so much recovery in his play. That's why I love him so much. When I make mistakes, he recovers. So moving across into that left back position, and I can appreciate that Lodi is very expensive, especially for this version specifically. And that's the one that I really do rate highly. He's fast. He's agile. He's good on the ball, and his defending is pretty sound. So you can't really go wrong with that. Brazilian, fairly easy to link up. I like him a lot. I don't really believe there's a second or first place for this position because it all depends on what league I'm in and what I need to use at that given moment in time. And Theo Hernandez obviously isn't going to be linking up with La Liga players or Vinicius Jr. So in at number 1, it's got to be Ferland Mendy. He gets that link to Vinicius Jr., which is too clean in a 4-5-1. And then added with that, you got high work rate, which is my favorite. You got the 4-star skills, the 5-star weak foot, which is a really nice bonus to have. So if you're wanting to rush those passes back in field, he's got you. And he's still one of the best fullbacks to go and use. So CDM time, and what I will do is specifically list out players for that role, as well as centre mid and cam. Now, I don't usually tend to use too many cams, but you'll see which ones I've been preferring. Now, Fofana can play both CDM or centre mid quite comfortably, and he is a beast. Really good. He got me rank 1 the weekend just gone. I like him a lot. It's just chemistry-wise, a little bit annoying to get into a starting 11. And if you're jumping on the game a little bit later, as he was a player of the month, Ligue 1 SBC, you're not going to be able to do him. So ever since Fellaini stepped into my team, I haven't looked back. For a free card especially, I'm shocked that EA gave him this kind of pace with that height. He flies around the field. Tracking back, really efficient, going forward, shooting and scoring goals. 84 shot, good enough on the ball as well, even though he's so tall. He's a downright beast. And he was free. You can't beat anything that's free. So I do have an honorable mention for Fred, the road to the final version. He's going to get boosted as well. Fantastic he was in that free roam centre mid CDM position. But Kante, if I'm going to be using like a 4-1-2-on-2 and I'll play him right bang in the middle, he would be my go-to choice as a CDM. He can twist and turn really well. His passing game's fine, but it's just those interceptions and how he reads the game. He's one of the best, if not the best, out-and-out CDMs. So what are we looking for in that centre mid position? Stamina, work rate, a bit of dribbling, and also a little passing. Maybe the odd shot here or there, depending on what kind of setup I'm going for. But Barella, truthfully, he has dropped off a little bit, but still a fantastic option for you to go for. And you know that later on, he's going to get some special cards, and it'd be insane. And he's already very good. I like this card for his tracking back and just the way he's able to hold possession. Really is difficult to dispossess in him if you've ever played against the guy. So Barella, number 3. Number 2, we do have De Jong, and even the regular version of him is fantastic on the game, but when you're getting that boost with the road to the final, oh, he's sweet. That speed, the dribbling, and because he's a little bit more on that taller side, you're going to get a few more interceptions, and the way he controls the game with his passing, obviously his shooting could be a little bit better, but once again, whatever setup you're going for, put him alongside the goal scorer. And his work rates this year, high, medium, it's all right. I mean, he doesn't have any issues tracking back. I think he's fine. So, really good card on the game. Number 2. So, in at number 1, and I ain't kidding, it's KDB. My favorite centre mid this year. And I know it will come as a surprise to a lot of people watching this right now. Defensively, I feel fine with him. He has that bite in the challenge where he shows his aggression. The 5-star weak foot comes in clutch when you're taking shots outside the box. The work rates are perfect. His speed, how he tracks across the field. And his dribbling feels like Zidane. You pass into his feet, twists and turns really fast. And the playmaking, 93 passing just to hold down the midfield. I like him a lot this year. I didn't think he'd be as good as he is, but I packed him on the RTG, and even going through so many different icons, special versions of players, he is still my favorite. Something about him that I really like. And on Friday, he's going to get a promo card, so maybe we'll make that one official. But KDB, love him. So like I said, I don't really use too many cams on the game. If I'm playing a 4-2-3-1, most of the time I'll have a left winger being put in that position. But Mane, if you're really looking for a cam to overlap your striker and get some goals, I really do rate him this year. But more often than not, I'll play him as a striker. That's where I feel like he's going to be best used. So Fekir is literally a cam. But once again, for me, I prefer him as a striker. Obviously, if you're using a 4-1-2-on-2, by all means, play him in that cam position. He's going to get shots outside the box. But as a right striker, closer to goal, twist and turn, bang, changes games. Really good for the price that I paid. I think it was 80,000 for this SBC. But Del Piero is number 1. As a striker, not really a cam. Well, he's a cam, centre forward. Don't play him cam. Play him as a striker. You will start realizing how efficient he is in front of goal. One of the cleanest shots Outside the box, inside the box. Obviously, dribbling at times can be a little bit better, but his pace is fine in on the last man. He's got a bit of aggression, and he can pass and assist. He just makes such a good centre forward. Well, that's what he is. He's a centre forward, not an out-and-out cam. He wants to be closer to goal, and that's what you need. Great player. So let's take a look at those right mid, right wingers, depending on what formation you're running. And if you're someone like me that likes that instruction to come back on the defense because you're struggling to lock down the midfield, Rafinha is one of those perfect players to defend with that second line. Obviously, first line is great, being your strikers, putting on pressure, but that second line across the midfield, Rafinha will help a lot. High tie work rates, good aggression, just so fast, fantastic shots as well. Don't be scared to shoot with him. He gets a lot of goals, like nice shots. So in at number 2, we do have Messi. And the reason why he doesn't rank a little bit higher is the lack of blistering pace. Now, he's not slow, but he's not someone that you'd really want in a right mid position to be carrying the ball up and down the field. He wants to be closer to goal, super technical, and that's what you get. And I love him for that. Some of the goals I've been able to score with him have been disgusting, but I personally prefer him as more of a right forward striker type vibe. But who's number 1? Kulusevski. No doubt in my mind, this man is the best right mid for me on FIFA 22. Obviously, everyone has a different style, but with the way he dribbles, he keeps it so close to his body with a lot of power, the height as well, and his speed. He is rapid. He's a steam train running up and down the field, good stamina. His shooting is ridiculous. He thumps the strikes. I could not believe how good he really was. So on the opposite side, in that left mid position, we do have Janola, but same thing applies. In his case, he's better as a striker than a left mid. But considering that he comes out as a left mid, some of you might want to play him there. But he's got good enough dribbling, and he's really physical and fast to get down the line. So I like that from him. 5-star combo is just crazy good. And he's come down a lot now. So for $1 million, like 1.2, give or take, I think that's a fair price. So with the way I dribble on the game, I personally prefer Neymar over Janola. But then if I was looking for a striker, I would rather Janola over Neymar. So it depends on the setups and the formations that you're going to run and what positions you need. But Neymar, to get down the line, he's so fast, absolutely rapid, one of the fastest players that you'll try. And just dribbling and playmaking alone is fantastic. His shooting doesn't feel like it's on the level like he had last year, but he's still a great card, and I don't believe many people are sleeping on him. I've seen him a fair amount of times popping up. But yeah, maybe they're just put off with his finishing. I like him. But you could argue that Neymar is number 1, but Vinicius Jr. for me right now, I've been playing a ton of games with him, and I don't really feel like I need to bring Neymar to replace the guy. He's just so fast. His finishing's overpowered. He's wonderful on the ball. And I just, yeah, like I say, I love what he offers, and he's fantastic. But then Neymar has the 5-star weak foot. He probably is the better option to go for. But as this is my top 3, Vinicius Jr., he's my number 1. So the last top 3 for today's video is in that striker position. And for the price that I paid originally for Arnautovic, it was like 40,000. And I thought he exceeded that amount. And I think you can pick him up for about 14,000 now, which is just crazy cheap. Obviously, the links are a little bit annoying, but the height that he offers, that aggression, the pacing behind, and his finishing, he is a lethal striker on the game. Trust me, if you're liking that tool type approach, but having the agility as well to be able to maneuver past players, Arnautovic is your man. He comes in at 3rd place. Although Heung-min Son isn't really a left mid, so I've kind of cheated here, but as a striker, he is seriously good, man. His finishing is crazy. He is like another version of a Del Piero, and I would rather use Del Piero, though, over Heung-min Son. So if you're breaking down my top 3 for strikers, Del Piero would be in 2nd place, and Heung-min Son would be in 3rd, and Arnautovic 4th. But ignore that. We're just looking at some of the best players on the game, and Heung-min Son is definitely one of them in that striker position. Left foot, right foot, twists and turns, he's dangerous. He doesn't really get used an awful lot now, but he is fantastic. And with a few more special cards, crazy. So I need to mention Cristiano Ronaldo. I don't really know where I'd put him, though, in the top 4. Because I feel like I like his skills in that, but Del Piero just had, or it felt like he had a better shot than Ronaldo, especially with the 5-star weak foot. So it depends on the setup that I have around them. But Ronaldo definitely does deserve a mention. But number 1, everybody's nightmare, Kylian Mbappe. The speed, the strength, everything. He's just so ridiculous. You hate facing against him. You don't really want to use him because everyone else has him. So it's one of those dull purchases. But Mbappe is seriously good, and he is the best striker that you can go for. If you have the money for R9, awesome. I don't. I've never used him, so I can only give you the top 3 players that I've tried on the game. But thank you very much for watching. Thumbs up if you've enjoyed this one, and let me know in the comment section top 3 players that you've used on FIFA 22, and I'll see you tomorrow with the RTG. Take care. Team out. Peace.